Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled, the TV podcast here on the Meld Fuzz Podcast Network. I'm Peter Bradley. I'm joined with, as always, Mario Miranda.
What's up, everyone?
And Connor Ryan's here as well.
Hey guys.
And this is the TV podcast here, as I said. Every week we talk about a bunch of TV shows. Coming up later in the show, if you're on the audio version, if you're on YouTube, these will already be up and there'll be links to them at the end. But the shows reviewed this week, it's quite a light week because we're still, early days, all the shows aren't back yet. But we did review Sherlock's New Year's special, The Abominable Bride. We also reviewed the season finale of Ash vs. Evil Dead and the first episode back of Supergirl, which was this week. So you can check that out at the end on the audio version. There'll be timestamps. If you're on video on YouTube, just click on the links at the end. You can check all that stuff out. But of course, we're going to talk about the week's TV news. Some of this might bleed a bit further back into like Christmas time. Like I'm not sure when some of this was posted, but we're getting into the TCAs though, so there is some actual kind of meaty like pilot news and stuff. Although not all of them have shown up yet, so I think we'll be getting the most of it next week. But so let's get straight into it. Let's get some premiere dates out of the way first. Daredevil Season 2. Despite the fact that we had rumours for March 25th for a good little while there, and our inside sources also said March 25th. Alright? They seem to have pushed it a week earlier to March 18th.
I really think they looked at that March 25th when they leaked that out there, and then the internet was kind of on a storm with it because it's the same day as Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And they were like, do you know what? Maybe let's just shift it a week earlier and avoid it altogether.
Right.
Yeah, I think, because it makes no sense to compete. Like, I don't see...
It hurts both of them.
Yeah,
neither of them benefit.
Sure, there's people picking sides and saying, oh, I'm going to go see the movie. No, I'm not going to go see the movie. I'm going to stay and binge Daredevil. But if even half your audience decides to go see the movie, that hurts your day one numbers.
Right.
So, yeah, makes sense. And you know what? Sooner the better.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm glad they went the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Because it could have been start of April. But it's like, no. Bring it sooner. Alright, so that's Daredevil Season 2. A Season 2 that we're not as looking forward to is Fear the Walking Dead.
No.
I don't even know if we're going to cover that this year. Well, I'm certainly not going to watch it.
I'm not watching it.
No, I don't think
I
we
haven't
are.
watched the first season, so fuck
Fantastic.
Well,
Excellent.
this is Alex and myself that watched it. Well, that kept it all the way through.
Well, I got till episode 4 out of 6, I think, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't even care that I'm close to
that.
the
Couldn't
end.
even get
Well,
through the 6.
I held out hope until like episode 5. And that's when I was like, I'm not, no.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
This is hitting on April 10th, Season 2, and much like Walking Dead, they're splitting it in two. It's going to be a 15-episode season. You're getting 7 episodes in spring, starting April 10th, and then the second half will be later in the year. So I'm guessing what they're doing with this is they're going to start this just after season, whatever we're on a Walking Dead finishes, and then we'll get the second half just before the next season of Walking Dead starts.
Yeah.
So they've done this weird thing where we're getting like half of each show like together, like twice a year, rather than just giving us a full show one part.
They might start spacing out a little bit, so it's just consistently like every few months you get the start of a new chunk, essentially.
Yeah. Oh,
So it'll feel like you're getting Walking Dead all the year round, then, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah, that's probably the strategy.
Great. All right. A&E have announced a couple of dates. Bates Motel's coming back for season 4, but also paired with that is their new show Damien, which is also based on an old horror franchise. Follows the adult version of Damien from The Omen, who is an award-winning photographer. So that's going to be their double bill, and they're going to debut on March 4th on A&E. So, I couldn't get into Bates Motel. I must have only watched one episode of it, but
Never watched it.
I've heard many good things about it from other people, but I've never bothered trying it.
Yeah, I've heard some good things. I got about halfway through episode 2 and I'm like, you know what, I'm just really not feeling this. Maybe I'll give it a try at some point. Damien, I don't know if that'll be good. I mean, we'll probably end up covering the pilot just out of
Morbid curiosity.
Yeah. So, and we'll see. We'll report back on it at the time in March. Alright, next up, HBO is already talking about making deals for Season 7 and Season 8 of Game of Thrones. It was the head of HBO was talking about it at the TCAs and saying how they're already in negotiations with the showrunners to get everything going for another 2 seasons.
Of course they are.
Makes
Why
sense.
wouldn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm wondering to see
Can't
how
really
they...
blame them.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the reaction to season 6 is, because so many people have said that season 5 was kind of the one where they stopped caring as much.
Yeah, well, I gave up in season 5.
You
But then
gave
I
up.
thought it was stronger than season 4, personally.
Really?
I thought it was better than season 4, but I was just still just like, what's the point? But I'll probably go back on myself and catch up.
Not that I'm saying the quality's at the same level, but that sounds a lot like season 2 and 3 of Walking Dead to me, where I gave season 3 a chance, and it was better than season 2, but like the damage had been done.
Yeah,
And I
that's
just
pretty
wasn't
much what it
keen.
was. I still think the first season was the best, but I'm going to catch up for 6, because obviously we got the release date for 6 as well now.
Yeah, just power through. It's gonna be like AC3 all over again.
I'll get through it. Yeah,
Just power through like.
I
episode-
need to, because I've read the books, so I know up to that point. But now 6 is beyond the books, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to watch it.
This last season ended really well.
Yeah.
Like it really picks up. There's 2 episodes that really stand out.
This show's going to end before the next book's out, isn't it?
Possibly.
Probably.
Probably that's what's going to happen. What is the release date for Game of Thrones? I didn't actually note that down.
April 24th.
Yeah.
24th, right, there you go. So that's April 24th for Game of Thrones. Alright, next up, Teen Titans, or just Titans, I believe is the working title, has been scrapped by TNT. They were developing that show and they decided not to go ahead with it. The reason given at TCAs was basically just, we decided not to go in that direction. Fair enough, I'm a little bit disappointed because I feel like A, I really like a lot of these characters, and B, I feel like this might have been a little bit different from a lot of the other stuff we've got. At the same time, though, we do have a lot of comic book TV shows, and I'm kind of okay with not having another one.
Yep. And there's more
Yeah.
coming because we haven't had Lucifer yet, right?
We haven't had Lucifer yet. Well, that's coming very soon, in fact.
And then we have the 2 competing DC Marvel shows that are dealing with like the Office, like non superhero related in the superhero
well,
area.
we're getting to one of those later, actually. One of them is in the news. But yeah, so I mean, I'm a lot disappointed because I do like these characters, but at the same time, I can't really fault them because they probably did just look at it and go, you know what, there's so much in this space right now.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but you know, I'm sure they had their reasons, and they were probably made the right call in the end.
Yeah, that said, I'd happily let Gotham be cancelled and have this get a chance instead.
Oh God, I would let Gotham cancel for pretty much anything else on TV. To be honest, just let anything else have a chance,
Except South of Hell.
except Saturday.
Well, somehow you can make it better.
Yes, also, yeah, make it better.
You make it good. You make it good, and maybe.
Yeah.
Alright, sticking with TNT, actually, they announced something kind of interesting. Basically, they are reviving Tales from the Crypt, which is an old horror anthology TV show, in which each episode would be a standalone, essentially, sort of horror movie, for lack of a better term, you know? They're saying this will be an hour long. M. Night Shyamalan is involved. He'll probably direct the first episode. And as much as I'm not really got much faith for M. Night Shyamalan, it's an anthology, so even if his episode's shit...
There's bound to be at least a couple of good things.
Yeah,
in there.
like, you know, this could be good stuff. And the other thing that I wanted to point out here is not only have they announced Tales from the Crypt is coming back, and they're going to have, you know, 1 hour stories, they said this is going to be part of a block. They're going to have like a 2-hour horror genre block. And they're going to announce what the other shows in that block will be soon. But they're saying that that's going to be like a block every week where they have either horror, science fiction, or other sort of genre-based shows that complement each other.
Basically, the Tim Margulish 2-hour special.
Yeah, the Tim Vergilish 2-hour special, that's exactly what it is. And it was basically just describing what they could be. He's like, oh, they could be really scary, they could have like a sort of sense of humour, so they could be horror comedy, they could be a blend of genre. Like, but basically, it's like they're wanting a Tales from the Crypt. And I don't know if the other one would be an anthology. Like, I don't know if it'd be like Tales from the Crypt and Twilight Zone kind of thing, or, you know, whatever they'd call it, but or if they're going to have that and then like a serialized show. But I'm actually, you know, Shyamalan's name aside, I'm actually kind of optimistic about this news.
How was it last movie that he did?
The Visit, better
Yeah.
than the last like 10 years of movies he's made.
But it wasn't that great either.
It wasn't that. Some people liked it more than we did. Tim hated it. I thought it was like
Tim?
thoroughly.
Hated it?
Tim hated it.
Tim has strange tastes
How
when
did
it
that
comes to
happen?
horror.
No, he always just immediately adds like 2 or 3 points to anything horror.
I don't know. Then there's some stuff that he'll just knock off, even though everyone else
Well,
loves it.
that's what I'm saying. That's just odd. Because you watched the Hallows?
The Gallows.
The Gallows.
Yeah.
And I watched that and they're like, oh, God, that was a waste of time. And he was just like, it wasn't half bad. It wasn't that bad. Like, no, Tim, that was terrible. That was a terrible movie.
Yeah, that was terrible. Oh, dear. But no, I'm cool. I'm actually really pumped for just having a horror anthology show on there. We've had season ones, but I actually do like the idea of having just an episode by episode. They just come in, tell you.
The thing with them is I'm more likely to stick with them because even if there's a few shit episodes, there's bound to be some like gems in there. Eventually.
Yeah, it's like the quality doesn't like just because one week is terrible. Like if 1 week is South of Hill bad, it really doesn't mean that the next week can't be Mr. Robot good. You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of the good thing about it. So that's something we'll definitely be covering when it hits. Unless if we do 5 in a row and all 5 are terrible, then we'll start to think maybe we'll just back away slowly.
Sounds about right.
But no, it's cool stuff. That's actually one of the more interesting stuff that popped up in the last week. Next up, BBC America has given a serious order to Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
What the fuck is that?
It sounds just like a lot of words jumbled together. That's it.
Yes, Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. I feel like I should know what holistic means, but I don't, so...
Try saying that fast.
Holistic. Oh,
The whole thing. Try saying that fast.
Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Dirk Gently's Detective... I can't do it. I was okay the first time, but... Anyway, so this is based on a series of books by the same writer as The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And apparently the show's going to be written by Max Landis. It's being co-produced by AMC Studios. And people from IDW, oddly enough. The series will follow the surreal adventures of the highly unconventional detective and his reluctant assistant Todd as they navigate one big metaphysical mystery per season.
That could be kind of cool.
It could be. I'm not hearing anything bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's certainly, I mean...
I like Hitchhiker's Galaxy.
I'm unfamiliar with it. I've not actually read or watched any Hitchhiker's Guide stuff. But I don't know. I could see this being a quirky, fun. I could see it being like iZombie, but more about if instead of exploring zombie with that kind of sense of humor, but exploring time travel and alternate dimensions, but with that.
Well, Hitchhikers is kind of like that.
Yeah.
So check out that movie if you're interested in getting an idea, because it's just really weird and zany. It's kind of running like Futurama. If Futurama was British, that's what that feels like.
That's Martin Freeman that's in that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I should check that out at some point. But no, interesting. Kind of came out of nowhere. Next up, ABC has ordered a pilot for a show called The Jury, and this is kind of jumping on the whole serial bandwagon. There's a lot of crime stuff right now that's been quite popular. I know Netflix's How to Make a Murderer's been really popular over Christmas. I've not watched it yet. I've heard insanely good things.
Yeah.
To the point where people are trying to get presidential pardons for people because the documentary's so well made that people are convinced people are innocent. But so this is called The Jury, and it's a drama described in the vein of the popular podcast. It centres around a single murder trial, and the series follows the trial as seen through the eyes of the individual jurors, exploring their biases and experiences that influence the jurors' judgment and how their preconceptions change along the way. And it's noted that it sounds kind of like they're mixing Serial with 12 Angry Men. And I love 12 Angry Men. I think that's a great movie. I'm not necessarily always inclined to go with crime stuff in TV, but this does sound like it could be good.
Definitely has the potential to be good.
Yeah,
again, it depends how it turns out. It could be awful, but the idea is solid.
Yeah. There's some writers from Justified working on it, which I never watched, but Stuart likes that, doesn't he?
I was confused out on the other one. What's the other one called? Justified and...
Southland?
No, Southland's the cop show. That's really good.
Is it right?
You know what I'm talking about, right? There's two of them that are almost the same show, as far as I can tell.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Maybe that's good. I can't remember. But no, that's just an interesting premise, though. Sometimes when we get to these pilots announcements, a lot of them sound really shit and generic. At least
Yeah.
this and the Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency, they both sound kind of
Unique
unique and
essentially.
intriguing. Yeah, like
They've got their own hook to them.
yeah, they could be shit based on who's making them and writing and stuff, but they seem kind of interesting.
It's called Hell on Wheels. That's the other show.
I literally don't know what that is.
Is that the same as Justified?
Yeah, they're both like Western shows with.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, like to me, whenever I see screenshots of both, they look exactly the same, and that's why I always confuse them.
All right. Well, when you said Hell on Wheels, I immediately thought of something like Pimp My Ride, but yeah, okay.
I think it's referring to trains.
Ah, right. Okay.
That's about the expansion of the railroad across
That's
the
cool.
US.
That's cool. Fair enough. All right. NBC has ordered 4 comedy pilots. I guess they're trying to get back at the comedy game because they were known for having the Thursday night comedy block, and then it just all went away. Just in the past couple of years. So, first up in these 4, we've got the Untitled Tracy Wigfield project, which is about an inseparable mother-daughter relationship that becomes more complicated when the mum accepts an internship at the daughter's workplace. I mean, it depends on talent, really.
Yeah.
It's just, there's nothing bad about it, but it's just, like, there's nothing there to really comment on. It's single camera, which is always good, because multi-camera in this day and age kind of sucks. And, yeah, Tina Fey is one of the producers, but it doesn't sound like she's, like, one of the main people involved. So, I don't think it's going to be quite Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt Mario, so you can at least give it a chance.
God.
Next up is Marlon, which is loosely inspired by the events of Marlon Wayans' life. It's a multi-camera comedy revolving around an inappropriate but loving father played by Wayans, who is committed to successfully co-parenting with his polar opposite ex-wife.
What even
Like
is
Marlon
this?
Wayans.
I have no interest in this whatsoever.
Nope, I'm out already.
The Wayans brothers, and most of the shit they've done, I have no interest in. That said, I get confused sometimes because there's so many goddamn Wayans people now.
Yeah, there are. What do you mean now? I mean, they were like 12 or 13 to start with, but now it's getting worse because now they're starting to have kids. Well, like in was it New Girl?
Yeah, Damon Wayans Jr. is one of the.
Damon Wayans Jr. is one of
Yeah,
them.
he seems
He's
alright.
like-
I like him.
well, because Damon Wayans was also one of the better ones too.
Yeah,
It makes sense that he would get the better genes.
But these two, Marlon and is it Sean's the other one?
Yeah, Sean and Marlon Wayans
Yeah,
were
they
they,
two-
they were really always paired up together.
Yeah,
They had their own TV show for a while in the 90s.
yeah, I remember that. It was on
All the
Trouble.
Wayans brothers.
Yeah. Remember when Trouble was a channel, Connor, in the UK?
God.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Replace it with Dave.
No.
Yeah.
Trouble was it was that, and funnily enough, My Wife and Kids was on Trouble, and a bunch of other stuff.
That was the Wayans network.
Basically, yeah. Fresh Prince was on it a lot as well.
He's honorary. He's a cousin.
Oh dear. All right. Third up, NBC's ordered a pilot for the Untitled Matt Hubbard project. Do you know what's funny about all these things that are Untitled project? I keep thinking that the Mindy project was called the Untitled Mindy project at one point, and then they just said, "Fuck it, let's just drop Untitled and call it that." Okay, so this is loosely based on the titular comedy writer-producer's life. I've never heard of him, but okay. The show is about a guy learning to manage his expectations and strong cultural traditions of his in-laws after he moves in with his family to his wife's hometown. After he moves his family to his wife's hometown, sorry. So I guess his wife's family's religious or something. That sounds like the premise.
Yeah.
Again, completely based on talent and how it's written and the characters. Alright, last up. The fourth one is the one that Mario sort of referenced earlier. It's called Powerless, and it's the DC Comics workplace comedy. So it's got a pilot order now, and it's set in the DC universe full of superheroes, villains, and people just like us. The single camera series is an office comedy about the exceedingly average employees of an insurance company and their quest to find their own power. Could be fun.
I've got high hopes for that one.
Could be fun. Thanks to Variety for all those write-ups. I'll give credit where credit's due. What?
It's just basically every time you read anything.
True. It's like I'm writing the synopsis here. Alright, so that last up on the news, we've got one more show that's been ordered, and this one's from Netflix, actually. So Netflix has ordered a psychological thriller for 2017 called Gypsy. it's going to be a 10-episode season of 1-hour episodes. It will follow a character by the name of Jean Holloway, a therapist who begins to develop dangerous and intimate relationship with people in her parents' lives. Doesn't tell us much.
No. Again, I think at this point they're just banking on their own track record and brand recognition of Netflix original being mostly good quality.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they attach a big actor to this, I think, okay, then we're kind of looking at it and going, all right, that seems high profile now.
And they've been doing that fairly often, so...
Yeah. Jean Holloway will be played by, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson or something. They'll pull a big actress out of Hollywood for...
They'll pull someone.
Netflix pulling people since 2012.
It's not impressive when it's only 4 years.
Is it 2012? I don't know. When was House of Cards? That was the first one. 2012 sounds about right.
Season 3 was last year.
2012.
2013 maybe then. 13, 14, 15, 16. Because this is season 4 last year, so
Yeah.
13.
Good job, Connor, doing those maths. I love it.
Hey, I went from three take away from 5, and I got 12.
I'm never going to let you calculate shit.
No, never do.
Oh dear. Alright, so that's the news for this week then. So there's a bunch of new shows announced, pilot-wise at least. We'll be getting more next week, I imagine, since the TCAs are still going on. I imagine all the other networks will be chiming in with theirs, so expect a nice pilot marathon next week of news. But yeah, so that's the news for this week. If you're on the audio version, all the TV reviews are about to hit, so stick around for that. Use the timestamps to skip the ones you don't want spoiled, and so on. If you're on YouTube, click on the links and annotations. Here's to this week's rather light slate of TV.